Is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning and welcome to Hour 1 of Off the Bench, 7 a.m. on Thursday, June 25th. Today's skies are fair with a high of 86 in the capital city. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, Garrett Ellinger, the newest LSU commit, will be joining us at 7:15. LSU Athletics Executive Chef Michael Johnson joined us at 7:30 to answer our Munchie questions, so get them in either in the huddle or our YouTube Live that should be streaming. At 8 o'clock, we'll be ranking our top SEC quarterbacks in a tier list. And former MLB player Chad Durman joined us at 8:30 to give us an insight on the MLB. You can follow today's show by joining us on our YouTube live stream on the Off the Bench page, inside the 104.5 ESPN Huddle app brought to you by Bayou Ford. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. Produced by Sam Favors and Daniel Cardenas. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online, 104.5ESPN.com. We're on Facebook Live, YouTube. You can watch us on the Off the Bench YouTube channel. We're live there on your smart speakers. Remember, if you miss us, our podcast is always found at 104.5ESPN.com. Coming up this morning on Off the Bench, LSU picks up a new commitment. Another one from the Midwest. Big offensive tackle. Top 100 player, Garrett Dellinger, going to stop by here in 15 minutes on Off the Bench. We'll ask him why he chose LSU over Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. As yesterday, the nearly 7-minute video published, an excellent video, was capped off with the LSU commitment. We'll ask Dellinger why coming up at 7:15 this morning. Your Munchies questions at 7:30. Chief Chef Michael Johnson from LSU Food will stop by at 7:30 this morning, as always, answering your food questions, whatever you have for the chef. Hop inside the huddle, hop inside Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching and taking us in. You can get your questions in with a hashtag Munchies. Chad Durbin will stop by, and as T-Bob said, the success of the bar tier list has spurred us to create more lists, and we're going to go SEC quarterbacks at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, we are going to, same thing, S, A, B, C, D, and we will rank them top to bottom. Just in putting this list together, something that jumps off the page, as you will see, is that the SEC quarterback list is really not all that impressive this season. But we'll get to that a bit later in the show.
Here are your headlines on this Thursday, June 25th.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
This is NFL news that broke this morning. The preseason game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio on August 6th has been canceled. It is also announced that the Hall of Fame's August 8th enshrinement ceremony is being postponed because of the coronavirus pandemic, league sources told ESPN this morning. This marks the first time the NFL has had to cancel an event on its calendar, with the Hall of Fame game annually kicking off the preseason. The NFL had been able to conduct free agency, albeit in different ways, as well as the virtual NFL draft, but this is the first cancellation that we've seen from the National Football League.
Yeah, I don't want people to get too freaked out here, because it does make a lot of sense why you would cancel this, right? At a time when you're trying to limit travel, you're trying to kind of keep things in-house. This is a game that is played at a neutral site, meaning that that's a lot of logistics in terms of getting all of the player and personnel from both teams out there to play this game. And while I do think there will be other preseason cancellations, I don't think that this is any reason for panic in terms of whether or not this season will happen.
Jari Evans, who was the other member of the NFL's or the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame class that was announced earlier this week, as we caught up with Roman Harper yesterday on Off the Bench. Evans was speaking on the New Orleans Saints podcast, talking about what it meant to get the call from the Saints about the Hall of Fame.
When I got drafted in 06, my goal was just, first to make the team. And then when an opportunity came about for me to actually play and start, that's where my mind was set to try to be the best player I could be the best guard in the NFL. And, I had some good coaches very early on in my career who taught me a lot of things that stuck with me throughout my career. And my goal is always just to win and be the best player I could be.
Wow.
With the bird song
Pretty
in the
day.
background, dude. It sounds beautiful. Everything coming up, roses for Jari Evans there. We talked about him yesterday. You are talking about probably legit a top 5 Saint of all time. You said he was a member of the All-Decade team?
Yes.
2010s.
2010s.
That's how you make the Hall of Fame, potentially, as well. So shout out to him for making the Saints Hall of Fame.
4-time first-team All-Pro,
Yeah.
1-time second-team All-Pro, so
Yeah.
a 5-time member of the All-Pro team while he was playing. And as T-Bob said, a member of the All-Decade 2010s team.
And just so people know, like, there's no backups on the All-Pro team. So if like first-team All-Pro, that means you were one of the 2 best guards in the entire NFL. And he did that for half a decade.
LSU football, they are continuing to stretch their recruiting hands as they got into a commitment yesterday from Michigan. Offensive tackle Garrett Dellinger announced yesterday via Twitter that he was coming to LSU. Rivals Recruiting Service ranks Dellinger a 4-star recruit. The site ranks Dellinger the 21st best offensive lineman in the country. The Clarkston High School offensive lineman measures at 6'6", 265 pounds. Dellinger is the 12th member of LSU's 2021 class. Here is the announcement of what it sounded like yesterday on social media.
This process, it's been a very difficult process because I had 4 great universities to choose from. All 4 of them I really do like, and I respect every one of them. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to be committed to the LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. I want to play teams like Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. I want to play those teams every day, not just watch them. I want to play them. And that's a challenge that I want to take because I feel like that would make me grow as a person and grow as a player. I just had a different feeling around them than I did anywhere else. Coach Craig was a major factor in my decision. When I was on the visit, just seeing how he interacts with players, how he interacts with my family, how he interacts with all the recruits, I could just tell that the coach that I want to play for, that he's a great person, great coach. And same thing with Coach O. Coach O, when I was talking to him, seeing how his energy just, like, he was talking to me about football, and, like, I just wanted to go play right then and there.
Well, I'm glad we could hear the last 5 seconds there. I mean, dude, to be clear, that was not Sam on that music. That came from the video. And it's like a super high-quality video throughout. Great camera quality, smart editing. And then there at the very end, the what should be the climax, you can't even hear Garrett because whatever terrible looping beat that was, it wasn't even a good beat. That's fine. You'll be able to hear Garrett Dellinger here on Off the Bench in just about 7 minutes.
Yeah, Dellinger's going to stop by here and tell us why he chose LSU over those other schools. Red, Rock, and Blue, our friend Jacques Doucette, the softball tournament that raises tens of thousands of dollars for Louisiana military charities, is happening this weekend, June 26th through 28th. More than 80 teams have registered for slow pitch softball, the slow pitch softball tournament. There will be a very special event Friday night at Breck's Oak Villa facility. Former LSU and Southern Stars from different sports will play softball games against each other for charity. Louisiana sports gambling. Louisiana lawmakers have agreed to the taxing rate for the fantasy sports betting bill. That edges the state closer to starting the competitions for online cash prizes in the 47 parishes where voters agreed to legalize the activity. The House voted 82-11 for the tax bill in the ongoing special legislative session, and the Senate sent it to the governor with a 36-0 vote on Tuesday. COVID testing at Tigerland. Sammy and Danny, listen up. 2 healthcare companies, Relief Telemed and Neighborhood Health, have partnered with Fred's Bar in Tigerland to offer drive-through COVID-19 screenings to college students and employees who work at other Tigerland bars. Organizers say the testing will only screen for active infections. The testing will be held from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday, June 25th, so starts today, in the parking lot of Fred's in Tigerland. The screenings will be open to all college students. However, students must bring a valid college ID and must be 18 years or older. Both of you going?
Yeah, y'all need to go get
I
tested.
got 2 head shakes of
immediately.
no. Why? Because you just don't want to know? or-
Wow. Way to go. I'm so upset with y'all right now.
Yes. It's free.
Yeah, we need some boots on the ground reporting here. I
I'll
want
go
to know.
do a COVID testing
Yes,
review.
I want to know what.
You want good
And
social
we'll tier it.
You want good?
We'll do all the COVID testing tiers.
You want good social media content? Run your video while you're getting tested.
I'll go on Facebook Live. Oh wait, we don't have Facebook.
Don't you have to stick that thing like way up your nose? That's going to be uncomfortable. Enjoy that. Either way, like we said yesterday, 4D spin here by Fred's. Nice play. It's like going to the casino and getting ads about do you have problems gambling? Call this number. Great job.
PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan said Wednesday that extra testing and stricter monitoring of protocols that could result in serious repercussions for offenders will go into effect in the wake of 3 positive coronavirus tests this week at the Travelers Championship up in Connecticut. Monahan said that across the PGA Tour and the developmental Corn Ferry Tour,
Yeah,
is that
that's
real?
my favorite. That's actually my favorite golf to watch.
There has been 2,700 tests with 7 coming back positive. Cameron Champ, caddies Ricky Elliott, and Kim Comby
Oh, Kim
tested
Comby's a beast, dude.
have tested positive.
On that Corn Ferry tour.
I think he's actually a caddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He calls all the right shots.
Elliott,
5 iron here.
Elliott
7 here.
caddies for Brooks Koepka, who decided to withdraw from the tournament despite a negative test. And your boy Boy
Yeah,
works for Graham McDowell,
yeah, one of the best.
who also withdrew despite a negative test.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't do it without Cam, right? I mean, McDowell knows it. You just don't stand a chance.
I don't even know what I read in that sentence. Those are your headlines. What's trending here on Off the Bench on this Thursday edition, June 25th. We're jam-packed. We got Munchies questions coming up for your, our lead chef over at LSU Food, Michael Johnson, who stops by every Thursday with us at 7:30. He'll be here in 15 minutes. Next, newest LSU commit, offensive lineman James Craig doing work. Garrett Dellinger, 4-star offensive tackle out of Michigan, chose the Tigers over Ohio State, in-state Michigan, and Penn State. Coming down to play in the SEC. We'll ask him why. Coming up here on Off the Bench, which is daily and power driven every single day by All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy,
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, remember, we're talking MLB with Chad Durbin coming up here at 8:30 this morning. We're also going to rank the quarterbacks in tiers after yesterday's successful bar tier list here on Off the Bench. LSU football celebrating another commitment, and this one is huge. Coach Orgeron stops here weekly, and he's talking about the emphasis that they have put on the offensive line as far as bringing in new crops of talent every single year, and James Craig has done a phenomenal job of spreading the recruiting message from LSU all across the country. No better example than yesterday going up to Michigan and getting Garrett Dellinger, who is 6'6", 275 pounds, from Clarkston, Michigan, a big-time athlete that chose LSU over Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State. 6.5-minute video yesterday that was put out with LSU winning at the end. We are happy to welcome Garrett into the conversation here on ESPN New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria. Garrett, good morning. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, man. Why LSU?
So when I was on the visit, it just kind of felt different. And coming back home to Michigan, talking to my coaches about it, talking to my family about it, it just kind of felt different, felt right. And then talking over Zoom calls and meetings like that, it just kind of, more I talked to those coaches and did virtual tours, it just kind of felt like the place I wanted to be at.
You are in the middle of Big Ten country, and two of the and all of the Big Ten elites were after you. How much did it mean to play in the SEC?
It means a lot because when I watch games, I can tell that the SEC is definitely the better conference, and the better players play there, and iron sharpens iron. So I want to play against the best competition to become the best.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. Garrett, but before we get back to football, I want to ask you about your family life a bit, because you have a pretty fascinating family and story. A lot of service to America, to the U.S. Your father being in the military for a long time, going all over the world. I think you have like 4 siblings. What was it like growing up, and how do you think it kind of influenced you growing up with your dad kind of traveling all over and the example that your parents set?
So yes, my dad's in the military, or he works for the federal government, and so we move around a lot. So I was born in Maryland. I moved to Michigan. I moved to Alabama. I moved back to Michigan. Wow. So, like, my parents have lived in Texas, California, and just since I've been moving around a lot, me like going, just people are like, oh, like LSU, that's so far away. Well, to me, like, that's not a big problem because I'm used to like moving and being like far away from where I originally am.
Sorry, continue.
And I was just gonna say that since like having that type of background, that just kind of makes me stronger in that sense of like going 17 hours away to college.
Yeah, no doubt. And then what about other family influences? Am I right? Is your older brother, he played at Kent State, did he go on to be a Navy SEAL?
Yes.
I mean, does he ever kind of mess like sure, like when you're
something like that?
Garrett Dellinger joining us here off the bench, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria, LSU's newest commit. We talk to Coach Orgeron weekly here on Off the Bench, and he is always singing the praises of Jimmy Craig, of James Craig, the offensive line coach. Last year, of course, he put that offensive line in a position to win the Joe Moore Award. Can you explain the relationship that you have with LSU's offensive line coach and what he meant to your commitment to Baton Rouge?
Yeah, so he was actually a big part of this. He's definitely one of my favorite coaches, him and Coach O. And like just kind of talking to him through like Zoom meetings and just seeing how he like does his practices, what kind of drills he does. It makes sense why he won the Joe Moore Award. Because everything he says is so like smart, so like accurate, straight to the point. That I can just tell that he is developing players to go to the next level. And when you're doing that, of course you're going to win the Joe Moore Award. And yeah, so we have a great relationship because we talk on the phone almost every single day, and then we do Zoom meetings like twice a week. So, yeah.
Garrett, what about this last season? Because obviously the recruiting goes on for years, right? And so LSU's been on you for a while now. But what kind of impact, just from afar, watching what the team did, the 15-0 run, what kind of influence did that have on your choice?
Not that big of influence because, I mean, I went down there at the Arkansas game, so I've been liking it ever since before they even like knew that they were gonna make like a huge run like that.
Yeah.
So, but then them doing that, that shows that they are a great team and they're going to be great for the next few years at least. So it's kind of like a cherry on top, I guess, that win a national championship.
And the head coach of that national championship coach is Coach O, and he's obviously he's very regional. You know, he's as representative of Louisiana and Cajun culture as you can be. What was that kind of like when he showed up to visit you at your school or your parents up in Michigan? What was the reaction like?
I mean, it's pretty awesome. Coach O's pretty awesome. At first, it took me a second to like fully understand him, but I can just tell by like his energy and stuff like that of course every player wants to play for Coach O because his energy is a little different, and it just makes you want to play just as best as you can for him.
You are you're a multi-sport athlete, right? I read that you were a starting power forward on a state championship basketball team as well. How has that continued to develop through your high school days? Do you continue to play multi-sports?
So my freshman year I played, and then my sophomore year I was hurt, and then last year, since I'm going to graduate earlier my senior year, last year I decided to not play, just to fully focus on football. But like basketball helped me with my footwork, my hand-eye coordination, I mean all the most athletic like things you need that have in basketball can easily transfer over to football. I feel like I'm way more athletic now because of basketball.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure. Absolutely. I mean, especially when you can tell when the way that you move your feet on the offensive line. This recruiting class, you guys are in the top 10, and you have the fewest number of commits of any class that are in the top 10 right now. So when you look at this class, it looks like it is budding into something special. And then after your commitment yesterday, I saw Corey Kleiner, the running back, on Twitter making comments about it. I saw Garrett Nussmeier, who's the quarterback in the class, quote tweeting and making comments about your commitment and talking about who's next. Can you talk about what you guys are building as far as this class is concerned and how much camaraderie that is already built between you guys as a unit?
Yeah. So yesterday I was just invited into the LSU group chat for my class. So yeah. But I was kind of going through like what they're saying to each other. It seems like they're already like super tight. They already welcomed me. I already feel super comfortable around them. I've been talking to Garrett probably for the past few weeks now, just about like at first it was kind of about like football and stuff, but he wanted to get to know me like more personal. And I was like, well, if he's gonna be one of my teammates, gotta get more personal with these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we started talking about like hobbies, like video games, like fishing, stuff like that now. So yeah, I just feel that these guys are really the type of guys I want to be around.
So what game are you playing right now? Is it Warzone? Are you on the COD train with everybody else?
I think everyone's on that train right now.
Yeah. It's the hotness right now. Talking to Garrett Dellinger here on Off the Bench. As far as football is concerned, where do you kind of feel like your game's at? Because the tape is super impressive, just like mauling guys there on the edge. But when you look at yourself and you're like, where can I improve? What do you think?
I could definitely improve on my run game and pass game, especially with like techniques and stuff like that. I don't really know a lot of techniques. I feel like right now I'm just using like my athletic ability.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'll really work on my techniques, hone in on like my steps, my hands, stuff like that.
So you will be an early enrollee, is that right?
Yes.
And the commitment 100% secure?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Love it, man.
Love it. Gee, thank you so much, man. Can't wait to watch you play.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Have a great senior season, man.
Thank you.
You got it. There he is, Garrett Dellinger, checking in from Michigan this morning, and he is the latest commitment to the class of 2021 for LSU. And as we said, that Tiger class right now is ranked in the top 10 with the fewest amount of commits when compared to the rest of the top 10. So you can tell that these are some high-quality guys that they're getting. Dellinger is a top 100 player when you look around. He's a top 10 offensive lineman in the country when you look at just the numbers and the recruiting rankings of these guys that are in the class.
Yeah, what a nice resource, too. Something like the development of group messaging is. Like, it just – whatever. We compare everything against our own life experiences, and that's just something that wasn't around back in the day. So, like, the first day that you were making these relationships or when you showed up for summer and you're kind of awkwardly figuring things out, like, to be able to get so far ahead of the curve and develop those relationships and chemistry, that's going to help immeasurably when everybody gets there.
Remember, every day we're powered by All-Star Toyota here on Off the Bench. All-Star Toyota is on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. Stop in and see Lee Carney. Great team over there. Aaron Piku's running the sales division. Tommy Wagas back in the service department. If you need the service, they're open this morning. Stop in and see them right there in the corner. Tell you about Miss Lisa Sessions, who can rent you a vehicle. Very easy process over there at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. If you're getting out of town for the weekend and you want to rent a vehicle from All-Star Toyota, you can do that. All of the inventory that you may want to shop is online. Look, they can lease you a car, sell you a car, rent you a vehicle, all at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, and they got great deals that you can find all throughout the site. 0% APR financing, cash back on multiple vehicles. You go to the site, you go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. You see a flipper for new inventory, used inventory, new specials, certified used inventory, service and part specials. You can schedule service right there through the site. I love just clicking on the new specials deal and just kind of looking what's on the table for today. What are the best offers? And look, if you're in the search, maybe that's where you find what you're looking for. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Off the Bench with Collada and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
What will
Hi, friends. We're all a little on edge, but we at Richards Honda want to help. If your car needs service, we'll pick it up and drop it off, fixed and sanitized. If you need a new car, use our buy from home option or call us and we'll deliver it right to your door with no payments for 90 days. We are all in this together, and together we'll get through it. For more information, log on to richardshonda.com today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
On Thursdays, Hanging with Hester, presented by Richards Honda. After a full 2 hours of flustering, Hunt Palmer comes in to get us back on track. We talk LSU recruiting, the return of Major League Baseball, and more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Ba-da-ba-da, cheesecake, munching on a cheesecake, munching on a cheesecake. Cheesecake. A cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake. Cheesecake. A cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake, gobble, gobble, cheesecake. Cheesecake.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, let's go every week here on Off the Bench. Our favorite segment, Munchie segment. We're talking food here on OTB. Chef Michael Johnson, who is the executive chef over at LSU. We told you over the last couple of weeks the student athletes have been back on campus, so the nutrition center up and moving as close to normal as possible. Chef, good to talk to you again. Good morning. How are you?
Always good to be here. I'm well, thank you.
We've got questions rolling in for this segment, so we'll just jump into them. Chef, I want to talk a little bit about kitchen tools that you may use. What's the one that you may use the most? What's the most dangerous? I guess let's start with the one that you use the most in the kitchen.
Probably going to be a cutting board, and a good cutting board is something that's worth its weight in gold. You know, there's good and bad cutting boards as well. There's a lot of people like wood cutting boards, but wood tends to crevice a little bit and leave crevices, and if you wash it, it kind of when it gets around hot water, the wood swells and it can create these cavities that holds water or bacteria in there. And I kind of prefer to use a composite that it does what you call self-healing, and it absorbs the pressure of the knife and cutting board and doesn't scar as bad.
Okay, so if I'm purchasing, I need to be looking for a composite cutting board. That's right. What is the correct technique to cleaning a wooden cutting board, though?
I hand wash mine. It's soapy water and hand wash it.
Okay.
I don't ever put my cutting board in a dishwasher. No. And then sanitize it really nice. It's clean and sanitized.
So a cutting board would be a platform. How about like a tool you use to cook with, the one that you use the most?
I'm kind of lean towards like a sauce pot. It's one of my favorite pieces of equipment in the kitchen. I like a fish turner versus like a spatula. It's kind of a specific use. Dangerous. If you asked about dangerous, I don't think there's a chef out there that doesn't have a deep amount of respect for a mandolin. That sucker there is taking some skin off some fingers there.
Hey, Chef, it's Sam.
Hi there.
Speaking of tools, why is there short forks and why is there long forks when you buy silverware?
Yeah, so the short fork is a salad fork. The long fork is a dinner fork. It's specific for the use, right? So the salad fork is a little bit smaller, and actually it can be for an appetizer as well. Used for like smaller pieces of food and smaller detailed foods, and then the dinner fork or the entree fork is used for the bigger portions.
Cullen texted to the show. Ask Chef if he still carries a toolbox full of kitchen tools.
I do. My toolbox has just gotten bigger over the years.
So wait, you really carry a toolbox around with you just full of kitchen equipment?
I do, yeah.
You never know when you're going to have to cook, man.
The funny thing is I actually have two now. I keep one in my truck and I keep one at work.
Hashtag Munchies. I don't know if I understand the difference, but does Chef prefer Creole or Cajun-style jambalaya and gumbo?
Gosh, that's tough. If I say one, somebody's going to fuss about the other. Creole, has kind of like New Orleans style, has tomatoes in it, and I do like tomatoes. But I've never complained about a Cajun style either. So I think I prefer Creole, but I'm not going to complain about Cajun.
Opinion of a Hawaiian pizza: does pineapple belong on pizza?
Pineapple is a fruit that does not belong on pizza. Sorry to upset everybody.
Wow.
I'm a little surprised.
I love the stancer. That's why we have him on every Thursday here. Hashtag Munchie Chef. What's the favorite way to prepare a whole chicken?
I just cooked some whole chickens for the Secretary of the Army the other day, and we sourced them locally, which I think is an important deal. And then we brine them overnight so that they stay moist when you cook. And then I brushed it with olive oil and kosher salt, and just let it roll. And you cook it at a 225 degrees until it's 160, 162 degrees. You pull it out and let it cook itself up and carry over to 165, and it'll stay nice and moist. And there's nothing better than a good farm chicken.
Who's hungry?
I mean,
all right. So you mentioned you served the Army sergeant on Friday, and Coach O was talking to him about talking to us about how cool that was and having them on campus. We may have asked you this before. If we have, I hate to double up, but who's the most famous person you've ever cooked for?
I did cook for Paul Allen one time.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on it.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah, that's big.
The experience was really interesting because Paul didn't really trust any of the chefs previous to me to feed him at the stadium, and I built a relationship with his personal chef, and his personal chef convinced Paul to let us feed him, and I was all excited about it. And I went in to meet Paul, and he was glued to his Microsoft Surface, and he barely said hello to me. And Chef Chet was he was kind of begrudged to introduce us, and he said, "Chef, let's just back out and go on about our business because Paul's busy." So a couple of days later, I called Chet and I said, what was that about? And he's like, Chef, don't take it personally. Paul's a really busy guy. He's got a lot of important things going on. He said at that particular moment, Paul funded the research vessel that went down and found the SS Indianapolis, and he was literally watching live footage of the underwater research vessel find the Indianapolis.
What?
Hey, Paul,
Dude,
what's up, man?
what?
It's the chef. I'm Michael Johnson, man. It's like, can I meet you, chef? Paul, what's the problem?
Yeah, he had something slightly busier going on. So.
That is wild, dude. Okay, this comes from the YouTube chat. Dustin Giat asking, #Munchies, what's your favorite barbecue rub?
It depends on what I'm putting it on, right? So if it's pork, I like something sweet and spicy. If it's like a brisket or beef, I kind of keep it simple with kosher salt and like a 16 mesh black pepper. The mesh matters to me because it's how it pulls into the meat. If it's fish, something with a little citrus in it, maybe a little lemon pepper or something. It just depends.
Wait. So what is mesh? That's like the size of the grind
right,
on the pepper.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Yeah.
#Munchies, and this comes from Facebook Live. Josh Stancliffe is watching inside
My
of the
dude,
chat.
that's my old neighbor, Jay Money.
#Munchies, chef, favorite midnight snack?
Whatever's in the refrigerator.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like sweets too much. I kind of prefer to go towards. I like cold chicken. That may be weird.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
I used to go and get wings and bring them home and put them right in the refrigerator and not eat them and wait until they chilled off and get up at 4 o'clock.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah, no, that is weird. Leftover chicken's one thing. Just colding your hot chicken's another.
Oh yeah.
I'm a cold steak fan myself. #Munchies. Hunter Picard wants to know where you get your produce from.
No, that's my guy right there, Hunter. He's a good dude. So Hunter works for Cubby Rise, and we just started doing business with them out in Hammond. And took my sous chef out there and met Hunter and Grady Steele and his operation. And it's a really cool deal. They have beautiful fresh produce, and we actually used a lot of their stuff on this meal that we served to the secretary. So I'm thrilled to have another local farmer partner.
#Munchies. When meeting a new lady friend, what importance do you put on her ability to cook?
It's nice. It's nice to have an appreciation. I think that a woman that knows how to cook has an appreciation for a man that knows how to cook.
Yeah.
So, it's good, but it's not definitive.
Do you think, have you ever tried cooking with a female partner? Does it go well? Does it not go well? Do you just kind of be like, let me handle it? Like, how's that go down?
Yeah, I'll take a back seat in the kitchen if we're at the house or at somebody else's house. It tends to make people nervous that I'm an executive chef. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
Sure.
I would never want to cook for you.
Absolutely. Or you just hit them with that ace card off the top when they don't know you're a chef, and you just drop that 5-star meal on them on the first date.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a power play.
That's a power play.
I've had some good meals from some complete strangers that didn't know I was an executive chef, and I've had some good ones that knew and were nervous. But my opinion on it is if I'm not having to cook the meal, that's a damn fine, tasty meal.
Jared LeBlanc inside of our YouTube Watch app. He's watching on the YouTube channel Off the Bench. #Munchies. Best ingredients for a burrito. On a burrito. On a burrito.
I think I think the salsa is what defines the burrito. To be honest with you,
Okay.
I like beef tongue. I like strange things. I like pork belly in my burrito. To be honest with you, but I like the condiments. The condiments really a good hot sauce or a pepper sauce or like a peppered vinegar or cilantro is important to me.
Yes.
It's in the details, I think.
#Munchies. Favorite use of a turkey neck?
We braise turkey necks at the nutrition center. We do them quite often. The football guys love them. You cook them, you braise them, you brown them off with some shallots and garlic, and then add some beef stock or even a veggie stock in and stew them down, and then thicken the gravy up. And that's some good stuff right there.
Carrie Driscoll inside of the Facebook Watch app sounds like she's got a couple of personal stories. She says, no, he doesn't. He kicks everybody out of the kitchen. She also says, #Munchies chef. I heard you have an older brother and a younger sister. Which one's your favorite?
Oh, man, that's tough. Some days I don't like either one of them. Today, I think Carrie's my sister, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yep. It depends on who gives
last one from Cullen. Cullen says, "Hey chef, what do you think the future looks like for young aspiring cooks, professional cooks?"
Well, I'll tell you this: being a chef or being a cook has never been easy, and I don't think that's going to give way anytime soon with COVID the way that it is. I think it's gonna determine who the strong ones are, and who the real gritty ones are. And being a chef and being a cook has less to do with cooking and more to do with mental capacity and the stability of a tolerance of stress and dealing with people and dealing with tough situations. And I think it will sort out some of the lesser motivated and probably is going to produce some fine chefs out of it at the end of the day.
It's interesting. It's kind of like being a football head coach, right? It's about a lot more than just coaching the football.
The cream will rise at the top, right? I said that was the last one. This is the last one. What are the challenges in cooking in the way of the world right now with the COVID-19 and the pandemic and everything that goes into to cleanliness and making sure that everyone is clean when they enter a room? How stressful is it in dealing with food?
Wearing the mask is bothersome, and it sounds weird because you have to taste food and smell food constantly, and the mask kind of prohibits that. If you're operating a kitchen properly, you're already operating akin to a hospital. Things need to be constantly cleaned and sanitized and upkept. If you're doing that, you're already 3/4 of the way there. I think it's the mask really that's making a difference and taking temperatures. But if you're talking about the act of cooking, the mask definitely creates a challenge for us. And, people need to stay safe, and so we continue to wear the mask until it's determined otherwise. But the nutrition center is, it's a safe place for us. We go in there and we take our temperatures and we ask questions, and then, we put trust in each other that the others are not going out and socializing too much, and we kind of put pressure on each other to do the right thing. And so far, it's been good to us, and I think that's a feather in the hat, so to speak.
Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
Thank you, fellas. You too.
Thanks so much, Chef.
Chef Michael Johnson checking in from LSU this morning. Every week here on Off the Bench.
Caleb with a great last-second question we need to do next week. What is one meal you haven't perfected? I like that.
That's a great question.
I like that. It's kind of like asking Dellinger where he needs to improve on the O-line.
We will close that Off the Bench, hour 1 next.
Off the Bench with Culotta and T-Bob.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body brings you OTB Daily here. Remember, online, dgbauto.com. 415 Division Street is where you can find Kenny Frederick, Nick Frederick, the whole crew over there at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Streets have been wet over the last 48 hours. If you've been in an accident or you need collision repair, remember, Donaldsonville Glass and Body is going to help you from the accident site to the time that they can drop the vehicle off for you. For the entire process, Donaldsonville Glass and Body can take care of it over at 415 Division Street out in Ascension Parish. Online, dgbauto.com. Tell them you heard it right here on Off the Bench.
That's right. Go to DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com, dgbauto.com. Find them on Facebook at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. You already know how I feel about DG&B. I've been taking my vehicles there for years. They have helped extend the life of my vehicles as long as it is possible. Like I said, one of the cars, it was making a lot of bad noises right before that road trip to the ATL. I was like, DGB, I need to get this done today. Not only did they get it done today, they got it done at an affordable rate, and my car is purring. It's running beautifully. Go to DonaldsonVilleGlassandBody.com.
Sports will be back.
But for now, we're all rooting for a different kind of hero.
Let's embody the best parts of sports.
Teamwork.
Sacrifice.
Resilience.
One goal. Together.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance, with the latest in office tech.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Shout out to the best 19-year-old football player in the probably in the world, Derek Stingley Jr. Have you seen some of the publications that are writing about Stingley right now? What they're calling him, what they're talking about. Lindy's just ranked Stingley as the nation's best cornerback in its position rankings, and also tabbed the sophomore as a first-team All-American.
Yep.
They also had LSU's defensive back group as the top unit in the country. A ton of that was attributed to Derek Stingley. Pro Football Focus rated Stingley as not only the top returning player in the Southeastern Conference, but the top non-returning quarterback in college football. Pro Football Focus went on to say that he led all cornerbacks with a 91.9 coverage grade last season after he led the SEC and ranked 5th nationally with 6 interceptions, added 15 pass breakups, and ranks number 2 in the country in passes defended with 21. The term generational talent is thrown around loosely, but if there is any proper time to use it to describe a player in college football, it should be used next to Derek Stingley Jr.'s name, wrote Pro Football Focus's Anthony Tresh on Wednesday. Yesterday also, Fox Sports, the Fox Sports pregame show for their college football season that features Matt Leinart and Urban Meyer and Reggie Bush and that crew, asked a question on a Twitter poll: who is the top defensive player in college football? Overwhelmingly, that came back with Derek Stingley Jr. being able to tab that spot. I wonder with an athlete like Stingley, a year from today, when the name, image, and likeness is legal in the NCAA, how much money a guy like him can make when you think about how good he could potentially be in his second season, and then all the hype on where he's going to be next year.
Yeah.
You and I had a chance to kind of see this front row from his days at Dunham, and we talked about at some point he's going to be the best player in the game. Here he is going into his second season, and look around from the national standpoint, and everybody now believes it.
Yeah, look, they understand it. And when you hear those numbers, too, even from last year, it does also, to me, highlight just what a dominant cornerback tandem you had last year with not just Stingley, but Fulton as well. How about this? The highest graded LSU cornerback season since 2014. You mentioned that 91.7 grade that beats Trey White, who had a 90.2 in 2016, that beats Christian Fulton, who had an 88.6 in 2018. And the only reason I bring up Trey White's name is because he was just named as one of the top 5 corners in the NFL recently, and Derek Stingley already outstripping him as a true freshman. So yes, generational talent is not hyperbolic, it's accurate.
Hour 2, All-Star Toyota off the bench.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Daily OTB brought to you by Secure Shredding and Recycling. Remember Gaines Garrett and the crew over there at Secure Shredding and Recycling. You can find them online, SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. Your document destruction specialist right here in the listening area, all throughout the listening area. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, New Orleans. If you want to get a free quote, you can do that online. Remember, they offer services like mobile shredding. Their mobile truck can shred. Their mobile shred truck can visit your office and shred while you watch. You can drop off shredding, drop off and pick up services available for shredding at the Baton Rouge facility. Also, don't forget about the hard drive destruction. Mention off the bench, and 2 of your hard drives off the top will be destructed for free.
Yeah, whenever you use them, just mention off the bench because, show us some love. We'll show you some love. Secure Shredding will show you love because it's a service business. They are there to serve you. They are local. They are LSU grads. They're going to give you a better rate than any of these national companies will give you, and more attention to detail. SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com.
Summertime means grilling time with your homegrown High Neighbor Supermarkets. Quality meat and seafood at great prices.
Visit Bayou Ford for a new 2020 Ford F-150 for only $30,400 with 0% for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hey, T-Bob, sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans, so we're highlighting the fans that do it the most.
Every week, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out, 1045ESPN.com.
It's the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
DGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning and welcome to Hour 2 of Off the Bench. It's 8 a.m. on Thursday, June 25th. Today's skies are fair with a high of 86 in the capital city. You can follow today's show by joining us on our YouTube Live on the Off the Bench page, so make sure to turn on that notifications button so you get notified every time we go live or post, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And in case you missed hour 1 of the show, you can catch it up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. Produced by Sam Favors and Daniel Cardenas. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it, Hour 2, OTB, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria, online 1045ESPN.com. We're all over the place. YouTube channel, up and live this morning, Off the Bench. Just Google it. YouTube, OTB.
And subscribe and click the bell thing where it lets you know when we do videos that go live. And give it a thumbs up. And I know this is all very cliche and annoying to hear, but it's just how YouTube works and it really helps us. So if you love OTB, do everything I just told you.
We're Facebook Live. We're on Facebook Live as well. Smart speakers. You can find us at 1045ESPN.com. Carriages brings back all of our sound. Munchie segment in hour number 1 was fantastic with the chef who was answering the food questions. If you missed it, it's already there at the podcast site. We also talked to Garrett Dellinger, who is a 4-star offensive tackle from Michigan that committed to Coach O and the Tigers yesterday. He made it official with a commitment video and then told us why he chose LSU over Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State in hour number 1. So if you missed it, remember to check that out. Carriages is bringing back that sound. Always look forward to our conversation on Thursdays with Chad Durbin. He'll stop by here in 30 minutes.
One thing about the Dellinger, so we talked to Dellinger, but we didn't really get to give our takes on the Dellinger situation. And one of the reasons why this commitment is so huge, first off, traditionally, Louisiana doesn't always make the most dominant offensive lineman, but especially if you look around the state right now, there is a dearth of O-line. Like, I think the highest-ranked offensive lineman in the state of Louisiana checks in at number 886, the 886th recruit. That was in Brody Miller's article in The Athletic today.
Gross.
I'm not saying that somebody won't, like, if you take a Louisiana guy, that he won't rise to the top, because people do that all the time. It's just that it's maybe not something that you want to bank on. So in a year where talent is down, going to Michigan and getting a guy is huge for Craig, but it's also huge for another reason. Remember, Jordy, we've talked to Jack about this. We talked to Coach O about this, Jack Marucci, the head LSU athletic trainer, who loves numbers. He loves analytics. They've been researching and trying to compile data on what region produces the best players positionally, and not just in college, but like who goes on to have the longest NFL careers. And what they found is that, and it's no surprise, the Midwest makes badass offensive linemen.
Wisconsin, right?
Exactly, all that. And so they want to get involved there. And now James Craig lands his second big 4-star recruit out of Michigan specifically. But then when you look at Charles Turner, Anthony Bradford, and now Dellinger, you look at 3 guys, because Turner came from Ohio, that you've got from that region. So it's a feather in Craig's cap, and it's also once again LSU putting theory into action, right? Looking at the analytics, looking at this data, and instead of being like, oh, that's interesting, and then sticking with what's comfortable, being like, no, we need to make a concerted effort to work this, to work on this, and they did that, and now they got a big-time top 100 tackle out of the state of Michigan.
And you also love to see that these are now classes that they're stacking on top of each other and bringing in top offensive line talent. I mean, remember, you got Marcus Dumervil.
Yep.
You've got Marlon Martinez. You've got Xavier Hill that are a part of this class that's already on campus working out for Moffitt right now. And look, you've heard some of those names. Xavier Hill, when Ogeron went down the offensive line depth chart a couple of weeks back on off the bench, he had him scheduled in a backup at a couple of spots. He also had Dumervil as possible a potential player at left tackle that could come into play if things don't work out with Dare Rosenthal. And then you look at Marlon Martinez. He's a guy that could maybe compete with the interior spots and possibly even center. So James Craig has done a phenomenal job, and Dellinger talked about the relationship that he had with Craig in the process, and it looks like Craig is just kind of setting up a recruiting season where this year, 2020, the class, those three names we just gave you, a lot of those guys, all those, the majority of those guys are inside guys. Dumervil can play outside, but it looks like that the emphasis now on this class is getting those outside protectors.
Yeah,
is getting a guy like Dellinger, and then they've got a 5-star on the list, and Tristan Lee, who is out of Virginia, and Lee ranks as the nation's number 3 offensive tackle. Everybody's after him. LSU, Clemson, Oklahoma, Alabama, Penn State, Virginia Tech are in the mix. But it seems like from people that are covering his recruitment pretty close, that behind closed doors, that LSU is doing work. And it's going to come down to LSU, Clemson from people that are close to the scene. So you get a guy like Dellinger, who's committed, who told us in hour one that
he sounded very firmly
the
committed.
Commitment I said, is it 100% secure? He said, absolutely, and he'll be here in spring. He's going to graduate early.
He's in the group text.
You get Dellinger, and then you get Tristan Lee, who we just said number 3 offensive lineman, offensive tackle in the country, who seems like LSU's trending in the right direction. You stack those classes on top of each other, and now you'll be hearing Ogeron go down the depth chart on offensive line like he was on defensive line a couple of weeks back, where he's just name after name after name after name that they can count on. I mean, they're just stacking depth.
And it's and when you look at what is the one element that LSU has kind of missed in this recent era, like when's the last time you had a dominant offensive tackle?
Was it Lyle?
Yes, it would have been Lyle Collins. And so what, you're talking about 6-7 years ago now?
I mean, he was in the 2011 recruiting class.
He was in the 2011 recruiting class. Did he leave after 3 years? Either way, it's been over half a decade.
He stayed 4. Should have been a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers what happened on draft day, but he's made his money. And yes, I mean, he's probably the last dominant guy that you could peg.
It's kind of ironic that you could go 15-0 and put up the stats that you did without a great left tackle. That is not the norm. It just shows how good you were everywhere else. But yeah, so if you're talking about like kind of last hurdles that if like things to fix from when Ogeron took over the program, right? There was a lack of D-line depth. They've really addressed that. There's a lack of offensive line depth. Well, they've addressed that. And obviously everywhere else positioning, they look very strong, right? Quarterback. We mentioned the fact that they have 2 top 100 recruits lined up in successive years for the first time ever. And so kind of this last hill to climb would be getting that badass 5-star offensive tackle, and Dellinger's right there. Like Dellinger's a top 100 tackle. So you could argue that you've already crested that hill. But they continue to address positional recruiting very well. And as you said, they're now a top 10 class with the least amount of players committed. So it's a very quality over quantity class at this moment, and I like that because it allows you a little latitude, right? You're not really. They can go a lot of different directions as they put these core pieces together and really cement them.
Yeah, and one thing that we didn't talk about earlier this week when we were announcing the news on Cameron Jackson, who was a longtime LSU commit from North Louisiana, that was battling some academic stuff as far as getting qualified and being able to be a part of the class. He graduated earlier this week from Haynesville, but ended up committing and signing his letter of intent for Memphis. So now you've got an extra scholarship, and Ogeron and the staff have done a tremendous job of being able to find somebody, identify somebody that they may need for a specific spot and have a scholarship for. And now you've got an extra one where you can either sign another player in the 2021 class, you can get the graduate transfer in which they've had so much success, or you can find somebody out there in the market that's just that may fit in what you're trying to do. So they're on fire from a recruiting standpoint as far as the message goes and how relevant they are in the homes. And I mean, even a guy that's up in Michigan and hearing Dellinger talk about the one-on-one relationship that he built, not only with Ogeron, the head coach, but James Craig, the offensive line coach, and what that does in the feeling for the program as far as the relationship goes. It was an interesting conversation with Dellinger, and I think it's kind of an inside look to kind of how much momentum is moving in the direction of LSU football as far as recruiting goes. I mean, you're going up against Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State.
In their backyard. In
Big Ten country. I mean, this kid is he's from Michigan. He's from Clarkstown, Michigan. And, you know, I mean, he was talking about his high school uniform.
It is the Michigan.
It's the Michigan uniform. I mean, it's got the Wolverine helmet.
Who has LSU's? Does Hanville still have very LSU-like setup?
Lutcher.
Lutcher, there you go. Yeah, it'd be like somebody choosing Ohio State over LSU when LSU
Landry
really wanted him right there.
Like Jarvis Landry choosing Ohio State. Okay, so it was a great conversation with Dellinger. If you missed it, we were going to set the tiers of quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference. We'll do that next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by All-Star Toyota. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Remember, over at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, we're always telling you that they can take you through the entire process, whatever that process may be. If you want to buy a car today, if you want to lease a car, if you want to rent a car, if you need your car serviced, you can take it over to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, right there on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. They've got great selections of new car inventory, pre-owned and certified inventory right now, over 90 models in stock for Aaron Piku and his staff to give you a look and sell you today. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, and look, maybe a new vehicle just isn't in the cards for you right now. Well, that's where the Toyota certified used vehicles come into play. These are high quality, dependable, at an affordable cost. And you talk about getting advantages that you normally only get if you buy a brand new car. You're going to get warranty coverage, roadside assistance, and more. So what are you waiting for? You need that certified used vehicle. Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
Get an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care. it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we're going to talk to Chad Durbin here in 15 minutes on Off the Bench. We'll get the latest on MLB from a former vet. 13 years Durbs played in the show, won a title, won a world championship with the Phillies, played for another one with Philadelphia. But great insight and a great baseball mind that we tap into every week here on Off the Bench. Stick around, Durbs will be by in 15 minutes. Talked a lot of recruiting last segment, specifically to the LSU offensive line recruiting. And the brand and the program has been on fire as far as all of the recruiting goes, but the offensive line looks like it's going to shift into focus here as James Craig picked up a big one from Garrett Dellinger, who is a four-star offensive tackle from the Midwest, and he was with us in hour number one. So if you missed that conversation, it's online, YouTube, on the Off the Bench YouTube channel. We're live there every day. Make sure and subscribe. Click the bell when you get notified when content gets uploaded. So we'll have that for you. T-Bob put together a list of all
we are going to build a list. But yes, I've tried to list out who will be the starting quarterbacks this year.
And I was going to say you did a great job of putting together the list of the SEC quarterbacks that we're going to tier here. Our the post show here, sitting on the bench,
coming up at 9:30 today.
That will be 9:30 today on all platforms. Is that on YouTube as well? YouTube Live, Facebook Live.
We're thinking YouTube Live. I don't know about Facebook. We're deciding because we lost the Off the Bench.
I'm just getting head nods from Dan back there.
No. Dan just kind of in agreement.
Yeah, no. YouTube Live, maybe my little Twitter Live action if we can.
A little Periscope.
Going.
Danny's thinking he may be able to work some video magic.
Yep.
But
Danny's all in.
definitely not Facebook.
Yeah, no, we're upset with Facebook. They we worked with that
Danny,
off
give me
Facebook
$100
for years.
Yep.
They just got rid of it. So let's do this thing. So how this works? 5 tiers: S, A, B, C, D.
So explain that. I get A, B, C, D.
So has nobody ever I guess I only know this through video games. If the top score was always like an S rank. I don't know why. S is always, maybe it stands for special.
They can mean superior.
Superior,
okay.
superlative.
Okay, so then what's
superb?
What's A stand
Spectacular.
Awesome.
B.
Best. Or no. C.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Kinda with a C.
Yeah.
D.
With a C.
Dumb.
E.
There's no E.
D.
Dumb. Like
All
she
right,
said.
let's go.
Okay, here we go.
So here are our tier lists.
We have 14 quarterbacks. I think we work our way top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Who automatically gets in the S tier? Kyle Trask, to me.
That's
is
the only one that I can
maybe
put.
the only one that's a guarantee.
That's the only one I got.
You don't think Mac Jones maybe?
No. To be in the S list, you have to be proven,
okay.
right?
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, you can't say potentially he's an S player.
Yeah.
Right?
And Mac Jones' stats are unbelievable, but
because potentially Miles Brennan could be an S player.
Yes, that is true. That is true. It's just that Mac Jones 69 completion percentage last year, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks, but a lot of that success did come against lesser teams, and when he did run up against a better team, he struggled. Although the game against Auburn's weird, right? Because even Auburn made Joe Burrow look a bit human, and although he had some bad moments, he had some good moments. But that's fair. You're right. I don't think you could throw him in the S tier. The only other guy on this list that maybe I could potentially, by the way, we got Miles Brennan for LSU, Mac Jones for Bama, Kyle Trask, Florida, Terry Wilson, Kentucky, Bo Nix, Auburn, Kellen Mond, A&M, Ryan Helinski, South Carolina, and then like some lesser names. But what about KJ Costello at Mississippi State? And the only reason I say this, yes, he was hurt last year, ends up transferring for Stanford. But if you look at his 2018 numbers, these are S-tier type of numbers. He completed 65% of his passes, 3,500 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks. And now you team him up with Mike Leach and his throw it around. Like, he's going to put up numbers. I'm willing to put KJ Costello. I'm not willing to do it. Okay, you're right. Never mind. Let's move on to A.
I was about to say, that's a bold move right there, man. I mean, because, look, real quick, I love the numbers on Costello.
Yeah.
But Pac-12 versus SEC, and I think you'll be able to tell within the first 6 weeks if he's an S player.
The thing is, but you know he's going to do numbers, like just because of Mike Leach and that offense. But that's fine. He's not it. So Kyle Trask alone atop our SEC tier list. Okay, let's get to the A tier then. I would put KJ Costello in here for sure.
I would put Bo Nix first.
Oh, okay,
on this list.
Okay. And you know what's kind of funny? We didn't talk about this beforehand. I'm in agreement with you. I think that we're higher, though, on Bo Nix than most people may be.
I think Bo Nix should feel a little disrespected that we never brought his name up one time in the S column.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We didn't even debate it.
Yeah. But I don't. I mean, I think putting him in the A is already giving him
too much
the benefit of the doubt. Maybe not too much credit, but just the benefit of the doubt. I like a lot about Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. He got put in a crazy position last year, having to start as a true freshman. He made some big-time plays. Obviously, the Oregon game stands out a lot there. And yes, he struggled, but overall, like, the numbers speak to a lot of potential. And this is just through the air. This is even taking into account how he can run, but he threw for 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's pretty good.
True freshman, man. Freshman.
The thing that needs to improve is the completion percentage, but as you said, I think that's just a natural extension of true freshman. And then if we're talking about coaches, Chad Morris with him. Yeah, I'm with you. Bo Nix. Solidly in the A category. Are you cool with putting KJ Costello in there?
Yeah, I'll put him there.
What about Mac Jones here?
I'm okay with Mac Jones here, but I am not as sold on Mac Jones yet as being a every down, every play, seasoned quarterback at that level. So, to me, there are still unanswered questions. I'm okay putting him in the A column because of what he has proven and because of the talent around him. I'm a little less.
The talent around him obviously will help a lot. That's a good point.
I am a little less secure than I am in putting Bo Nix in this category with when you're talking about Bama's quarterback in Mac Jones.
Okay, the last name that I think could potentially be A tier here, Kellen Mond.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I don't.
A huge down year last year,
and I think that he continues to slide. I'm just not sold on Mond, his talent. Like I see that he makes a throw every now and again.
Yeah.
I see that he makes the right read every now and then, but he's not consistent enough for me. And for whatever reason, I was high on Jimbo a couple of years back. To me, his brand has become so stale. And I just don't trust that he can make him an elite player. So
all right, but I agree. You've convinced me. So Kellen Mond not in the A. So I think the A category is done with Mac Jones and Costello. Let's get into that B category. I think Mond definitely deserves to be in the B category.
I got no problem with Mond in the B category. As you talk about being able to get a return there, I think that this fits him perfectly.
I'm going to throw Jarrett Guarantano in the B category as well. In terms of quarterback rating last year, if you look, and you had to qualify by playing like 75% of your team's games, so Mac Jones didn't come into it. But he was third in the SEC behind Trask and Burrow. And it's not like his numbers were incredible by any stretch. 59% completion, 16 touchdowns, 8 picks, 2,100 yards. Like, there's a lot of room for improvement there. But that's a Tennessee team that faced the darkest of times, losing to Georgia State at home and managed to recover, managed to keep it on the tracks. He's going to be an upperclassman. Yeah, I could get convinced that Guarantano might be okay this year. So I'll put him there. I think this is probably where. Okay, here we'll go next. What about Felipe Franks? B tier.
I think Felipe Franks is D tier.
Oh, whoa!
I think
whoa,
Felipe
whoa.
Franks is. I mean, without being
2018,
overly
he had
critical
good numbers.
to a college student athlete, I think Felipe Franks is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, don't let me mince my words here. I don't think you can win anything with Felipe Franks.
Yeah.
I mean, to see the improvement that Florida offense made by one simple change at the quarterback spot, for as much as we lauded Dan Mullen and his ability to evaluate and develop quarterbacks, he couldn't see that Kyle Trask was that much better than Felipe Franks.
It is a bit odd. But Franks had a pretty good 2018, dude. I mean, he had 24 touchdowns, 6 picks. Completion percentage wasn't great, about 2,500 yards. I can't go D. I'm okay with putting Franks in the C tier, though. What do we do with Miles Brennan? B or C? He's completely unproven. If you look on this list, so far we've ranked everybody that has playing time. I guess Mac Jones, we pretty much gave the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So Brennan's a little similar to
I
him.
mean, I guess you could put like Helensky in this category. You know, he's
You
a
would put
guy.
Linsky in the B. I don't know if I'm convinced on
So
Linsky
have we
yet.
moved off a B?
No, we haven't moved. I'm saying, does Miles Brennan fit in the B or the C?
Not yet, because he goes against what my theory was early on. You can't put potential out there.
But we kind of did with Mac. We put him in the A on some potential.
But you got some data on Mac.
You got more
know,
data.
He's got more
Brennan.
starts. He's played complete games. You've seen him over longer stretches. I'm not. Look, I would put this on Miles Brennan's evaluation. I would say that he is in the C tier because you just don't have enough data and film to break down on him. But potentially, this guy could be an S player by the end of the season.
No doubt. No doubt. The only reason I'm cool with putting him in B is I think, as we're going to see when we get to the C tier, I think there's like a clear line of demarcation where, I mean, the other quarterbacks we got left to rank, you're
Just
talking about
falls off.
Terry Wilson, like you said, Ryan Helensky. Mizzou has a transfer from TCU, Sean Robinson, who's all right. Vanderbilt has a true freshman, Ken Seals, who I think is lined up to start there.
Maybe Terry Wilson at
Mentioned
Kentucky.
Franks.
You know who's a wild card on this list? Is John Rice Plumlee.
Yeah, but then again, they have two quarterbacks, right? They have Corral and Plumlee. Like who ends up getting that job? And obviously Plumlee stands out in LSU fans. So for that reason, I'm actually cool with putting Miles in a B, because the same way that we said that the talent around Mac Jones is going to help that a lot, I saw enough from Brennan last year. Like when he got in the game, I love the yards per attempt, 8.8. That's the key quarterback stat to focus on, and that means that when he got in there, he was not afraid to sling it. I expect that to improve, and then you're going to give that guy Jamar Chase and Eric Gilbert and all these weapons. I'm okay with Brennan finishing off our B tier.
Look, I could be sold because of what you claim and the argument that you make by laying out his numbers when he does get in there. He's very impressive. You know the arm strength, and then when you look at the talent around him, I mean, you got Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Eric Gilbert, Racey McMath. You got running backs coming out of the backfield, and he understands the situation that he's stepping into. He understands the scheme.
And the anecdotal return on him has been really good early on. We missed a big one. Jamie Newman, UGA, transferring from Wake Forest. Before I get into it, I was pretty shocked to learn this. You look at his numbers last year, good numbers. 61% of his passes complete, 2,800 yards, 26 TDs, 11 picks. So about a 2.5 to 1 ratio. That's really solid. What's odd, Jordy, is that those numbers are almost identical to Jake Fromm. 8 yards, 0.1 percentage point separate them in those two categories. And then Jake Fromm threw 24 touchdowns to 5 picks. So it's kind of interesting, right? Because everybody's expecting this huge upgrade from Georgia at that position. But here you have a guy who in the ACC put up basically the same numbers. And where Jamie Newman breaks down a little more for me at Georgia is I don't know that I'm in love with their skill positions. It was a huge weakness last year, and they dealt with injuries and whatnot, absolutely. But Jamie Newman, what do you think? A, B, not S, but I think he belongs in the A or the B.
Really? I would put him in B if those were my two choices, just because I would like to see that at the SEC level. Also, when you're giving me numbers like Fromm is producing in the ACC.
Yeah.
And you're coming over to the SEC and you want to run that same scheme, and you're talking about the collection of talent around him not being as impressive as what you would say even at Mississippi State or Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Forget LSU, Alabama. I would have to see it first, and then JT Daniels. There's a lot of whispers that he's going to be eligible.
Oh, really?
You know, on a waiver. And if that happens, I don't know if they're trying to make amends for the mistake they made.
Justin Fields
for running off Justin Fields and keeping Fromm.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Fields is going to win the Heisman this year. Fromm's going to be looking for work.
That's a fair point. Okay, so for now, I think we'll stick Jamie Newman in that B tier. Then we get to C tier. That's probably where I would put Felipe Franks. I don't know if I can go full D on him. I'll throw Terry Wilson.
Yeah.
In that C tier.
He's hurt last year.
Coming back from injury. Yeah, he had some potential flashed in 2018. And then after that, I think everybody else. No, I'll put Ryan Helinski in C tier as well. Some nice moments of a freshman year for Helinski over there at South Carolina. And then you get into your other guys who...
freshman. Ken Seals.
Yeah, Ken Seals. Don't know much about him. And then I'll put both the Ole Miss guys down there. John Rice Plumlee and Matt Corral.
It will be interesting to see Lane Kiffin calling plays for these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a couple of, Plumlee's a wild card. Corral could throw it a little bit better. Threw for over 1,300 yards with nearly a 60% completion rate. So it'll be interesting to see how Lane Kiffin fits around those two guys as far as being, the genius mind in his play calling. All right, there they are.
We went one more. Sean Robinson from posterity from Mizzou, the transfer from TCU. I honestly don't know much about him. The numbers aren't anything too impressive, so we'll just roll with D tier for now. But potential mover there.
Chad Durbin talking baseball next. Daily, we're brought to you by Lanois Insurance Agency, LANOIX Agency.com. Remember, get in touch with the Lanois about your auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, flood insurance. Trees down all over my neighborhood. Was talking to people about Lanois, just walking through the hood, making sure everybody was taken care of. If not, just call for the free quote. Randy, Brian, and David, 749-5640. Online, LANOIXagency.com.
LANOIXagency.com, LanoisAgency.com. Go there today for all of your insurance needs. You can bundle your home and your auto. You need flood insurance. They can do that as well. They get you great rates. They actively work to save you money without you even having to lift a finger. And so that's representative of the customer service that you get. And when you're talking about insurance, what is better than knowing that your guy has your back? So you have to file a claim. It doesn't feel like pulling teeth. They're the best. Go to LanoisAgency.com.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Daily, we're brought to you by Coy's Diesel. Remember, online, coysdiesel.com. Get over there if you need 24-hour roadside assistance for your light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck. Coy's Diesel can help you out. Remember, they're located on Airline Highway in Gonzales, as they can help you online, coysdiesel.com. The service is incredible over there. If you haven't seen the shop, they're full capacity as usual, but always can help you out with your light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck. Online, coysdiesel.com.
Yeah, continue to keep their customers safe, cleaning, sterilizing, making sure that everybody's protected, employees included, and making sure that they're still able to serve your diesel vehicle needs. And I mean anything that you could need with your diesel vehicle. Like, it's right there in the name. Coy is spelled C-O-Y. So go to coysdiesel.com today. You get that 24/7 emergency roadside assistance. You need your Duramax, Cummins, Power Stroke worked on. They got you. They got all the parts that you could possibly need at Diesel One-Stop Shop. Go to coysdiesel.com.
Dear Sports is our love letter to sports. Share your Dear Sports letter with us. Call 860-506-6161 and read it to us. Or share a video or text using the hashtag Dear Sports on Twitter or Instagram.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
In an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, remember, check out the podcast brought to you by Carriages Ran Log in our tier segment for Off the Bench. Last segment, we were talking about SEC quarterbacks. Check it out online, 1045ESPN.com. You can watch on YouTube and Facebook. Hit us on your smart speakers. Every Thursday, Chad Durbin, former MLBer, Baton Rouge, Woodlawn class, 1996. Got that number, retired over there at Woodlawn High School in the gym. Derbs, we were talking about SEC quarterbacks, and we were putting them in tiers. Potentially, we've only got one, Kyle Trask, as the best quarterback in an elite class going into the season. Where do you see Miles Brennan fitting in as far as SEC quarterbacks and replacing Burrow?
I think he's going to be really good. The weapons, the protection potentially. I just think that he's going to have every opportunity if he can make the reads and make the throws, which are big ifs, for anybody, any quarterback. He's got all the talent. He's been able to put on the weight. He's been able to sit back and watch leaders go out there, both on the field and on the coaching staffs. He's been given every opportunity. So it wouldn't surprise me he's not going to be Joe Burrow. We all know that, but he's going to be really good. That's my opinion.
Can you talk about, from an athletic standpoint, from just a pure athlete, you have seen legends replaced or try to be replaced, whether it be managers or players at all levels. Can you talk about the difficulty of trying to be the replacement, trying to be the next guy?
That's actually a great way to look at it, because most people are just going to immediately expect the replacement to be that guy, and it's almost better for that person to. And I'm not saying go unnoticed, but you almost don't want the attention. Oh yeah, he's doing a great job, but he's not Joe Burrow. That's what I would want if I was Miles Brennan in my first 3 or 4 games. Is throw 3 touchdowns. Throw for 280 to 320, maybe, and go out and maybe turn the ball over once a game-ish, and be very serviceable on a very good team, and from there. And it sounds weird to say it, but I've seen it in players that are replaced. Hall of Fame caliber players. The guys that go out there, sometimes they're no names. Sometimes it takes them a couple years to be a name. It's almost never immediate, and it's earned over time. So, if I'm that kid, I know the weapons I have, and if I'm process-oriented and not results-oriented, I'm going to be really good.
Derbs, big news on the baseball front. Although there's, going to be some drama for the next few years around the edges, baseball is set to begin once again on July 24th. What was your reaction to the developments this week?
Well, even though 99% of me said it was going to happen, and all along on here I've said, yeah, we're going to play baseball. It's just a matter of how many games and what the terms look like. And at the end, the last 4 or 5 weeks and last month, I've been almost apathetic, like just whatever. You're losing your opportunity. And then as soon as they said yes, I started to look at how this was going to play out and who's got to play where, and how important the games are. I guess that's why football's so much fun to watch. Is in the NFL, you get 16 of these bad boys, and you lose one, it feels like a 7-game losing streak in baseball. If you win one, it feels like a 7-game winning streak or 10-game winning streak. So I feel like baseball, it's I think I heard Ott say it's 2.7 more times more important per game with 60 instead of 162. So there's going to be more emphasis. Managers are going to manage games just a little bit different because it's that much more important. There could be a guy hit 400 and it's not going to be 400 traditionally. There could be guys go out there and be in different roles than we've ever seen, and there are opportunities for baseball to take this and make it special in spite of not playing more games.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading a great article on ESPN this morning, Chad, about like how different the numbers could be. How do you feel about the league leader in wins having like 7?
How great would it be if somebody wins 6, 7, or 8 games and wins a Cy Young?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking at.
Absolutely, and what are the minimum amount of at bats going to be to go, win a league batting title, which is, over the last 100 and some odd years, that's been, one of the standards. Somebody could legitimately get the at bats and be like 440, and we're just going to scoff at it. I actually think if we didn't have some of the black eyes with the steroid era and all this other stuff, I think the traditional numbers would mean so much more. And they just don't mean as much as they did. I guess when I was growing up in the 80s, it was, 400 or a 300 hitter was that, and hitting 30 and having 100 RBIs was a big deal. And then it just became kind of, you rolled your eyes and you're like, all right, I just want to see McGuire hit home runs. Go mash. And honestly, other than the purist in me that did things the way I thought they should have been done and didn't stick a needle in my butt, it was a lot of fun to watch those guys be superhuman for periods of time. So, we'll circle back to it. Baseball now, I'm really excited to see players play with a different type of passion than they might in a 162-game season. You're talking about a month, and then the trade deadline's there, and then a month, and then we're slicing up the divisional and playoff pieces of pie, and you go play. So I really feel like every home run, every win, every big moment is going to be amplified, and I hope that the media side of MLB and the marketing side of MLB amplify it at 2.7 times more important to them.
Yeah. This needs to be painted as like a sprint to the finish because it truly is
really
that.
Is.
When you look at, here's an interesting question: how do you think a champion from this year will be judged?
Yeah, it's going to have a big asterisk by it, and that is what it is. But you win, you win.
Yeah, sure does.
You're going to have a parade, and if the college football season's cut down to 7 games for some reason, national champion's still going to be the national champion, and I think it's a spin. It's always a spin. If we can spin it into something really awesome and cool, and look at how exciting this season was. The asterisk might be even cooler to have by, like, look what we did, man.
Yeah.
We went 40-20, or we went 45-15 because we got red hot. Or we squeaked in the back door, shouldn't have been in there, and ended up winning it because, God knows the second half of the season is where we're strong. So, it's it's going to be very interesting. I'm really curious to see how many bodies and arms stay healthy and don't. Who pushed the envelope during this break to get stronger, and who took off too much gas and has to get this thing going again. Because injuries happen. It's the world of sports. In 14, parts of 14 big league years, how many times could I have easily walked in the training room and been like, I really don't think I should go out there today. And how is that going to be different when you have, guys on basically the practice squad waiting to go in there, and they look at you and they're like, we can't take a chance that you suck today. In 162 games, we can figure out whether we might win or lose a situation, but we can't afford to do that. So you're out. We'll take the kid down there that's thrown 97 against his peers, waiting to come up here. We'll take him. We'll bring him up today. So all of it transactionally, the health side, the training side, all of it is just completely different than it's ever been.
They're going to put a runner on second base in extra innings in the 10th. As a former player, you see that rule, you think what?
I know some of that has to do with just creating excitement. Also, playing 17-inning games when guys aren't quite ready to play 17-inning games, and you're trying to minimize this. Look, it's some of the stuff we do in youth baseball, right, Jordy?
Yep.
Extra innings. Let's speed this bad boy up. We got another team waiting to play.
Let's get out of here, guys.
Keep this thing on schedule.
we got stuff to do.
That's right.
Why not try all that stuff this year? Honestly, why not? On the media side, try stuff. Mic guys up differently. Why not try it this year? So there'll be that. I think. Are they implementing the relievers have to face 3 hitters? I'm not sure if that was one that was on the table.
I haven't heard that. I've only heard the players on second base.
Yeah, there's going to be. We'll all figure it out over this next stretch of time, but. July 23rd, 24th, I'll be locked into spring training games, guys, because it's going to be fun to watch. And seriously, there's nothing really, on TV anyway. We'll have some stuff ramping up, but I'm looking forward to hearing some wood bats. Looking forward to seeing some guys make some diving plays, and I want to see these guys who maybe have had more personality in their off time on their social media, playing video games, whatever they're doing. I want to see some of that come out.
Yep.
So that young fans, it's in their face, and they fall in love with a game that I love dearly.
Derbs, we'll talk to you next Thursday, man. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Chad Durbin every week here on Off the Bench. We'll close it out next.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Central Plumbing Company, 925-8552, online centralplumbing.org. Remember, over at Central Plumbing Company, they can help you with commercial and residential plumbing services. All you got to do is call them at 925-8552. If you need a full home generator, you want to buy one, have it installed, you lost power due to the weather that came through 24 hours ago, get out in front of it with Central Plumbing Company, 925-8552 or online centralplumbing.org.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Remember that number. When it burned into your brain, or just remember Central Plumbing, you can just go to the site. Because anytime you have a plumbing issue, I don't want you to think twice. You just call Central Plumbing, and you know that you're getting somebody in your home who's licensed, bonded, and insured. You see pictures of them ahead of time. You know the flat rate pricing structure, so you're not going to be hit with any surprise fees. You know that you're going to have a warranty, 30 days on service work, a year on new installation, that's going to give you that peace of mind. And so you know that you just call Central Plumbing, they fix your problems. You don't lift a finger. Go to centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey.
We were talking about running in the break, and we're talking about doing something for subscriptions.
Yes, okay, so
Sam had a good idea, running a 10K for 10,000 subscriptions. Running 5 miles sounds like torture.
That's just going to be filming me breathing heavily and complaining and looking very sweaty, which I guess there's some comedic value there. But I do have an idea for 9K. Billy Gamilla hit me up with a drink recipe on Twitter, and I think I'm into this. So if you help us get to 9K, we are at 8.87, so we only need, like 120 more, basically, somewhere along there. I will drink a beef fizz live on air, and so will Jordy. You heard it here first. Yep, I just said it. That's binding. It's a binding contract.
Yep.
I'm not saying you have to finish it, but you have to try it. So you're like, T-Bob, well, what is a beef fizz? It is 2 cans of condensed beef broth, 1 cup of chilled ginger ale.
I mean, is condensed beef broth worse than just
It sounds thick. I don't know
broth?
what it is. Yeah. And then it's 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You combine it and serve it over ice.
What is the point of this drink? Is it
dude, you're just hungry for some meat, but you don't want to eat any meat. You just get yourself a little beef fizz. A little hungover, why not a little beef fizz? So if we hit 9K, or when we hit 9K.
No, if we hit 9K today, we'll do it.
Is that the only deal?
At some point, you're going to hit 9K.
Yeah. Is it? Well,
You know what I mean?
no,
You've
we'll get
gotta
by
hit-
the end of the week. We have Friday. So by the end of Friday,
Where are
Tomorrow.
we? Where are we?
We're at Thursday.
Tomorrow
Where
is
are we
Friday.
in the numbers?
120 away.
120 people?
Yeah.
No,
No, I
chance.
thought it was 1,200.
No, it's 120.
Yeah.
That was bad math on me.
He was talking about to get to 10K.
Okay, so we could do that, or I think we could get a Tommy Moffitt workout and go do the workout on the levee.
Hell
That would be
no.
hilarious.
I'm never doing another Tommy Moffitt workout in my life,
Yeah,
dude.
and it's fun to say a Tommy Moffitt workout. We could just do like something pretty intense. You don't really want to do a Tommy Moffitt workout.
You want to go run 26 110s?
I would
you
go
be my
work out with
guest.
the football team and just complain the whole time.
I'll tell you what, if we get to 9,000 subscribers by the end of the day, we will set you up with Tommy Moffitt and the LSU football team to
And go
work
lift
out
weights.
and run the levee with Derek Stingley and Jamar Chase.
Oh, that would be so embarrassing.
That sounds horrible. Yeah, so help us get to 9K.
Be like,
9K by tomorrow, start of the show.
Who signed us up for this stupid promotion?
9K by tomorrow, start of the show, and we go beef fizz.
who is this
You go
sandwich
be fist.
girl?
All right, I will do it, and we'll convince Jordy to do it as well. Off the bench.
Do a pro day.
We love you. No, I'm done with racing. I'm done with all that. It's all about the beef fizz.
Off the Bench with Colada and T-Bob.
It's our final week of Diamond Days at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Get 3 years no interest financing, diamond rings, pendants, earrings, bracelets,